do so.
For Courtenay-Alberni.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank my colleague again. I always enjoy his interventions. Madam Speaker, we talked about the housing crisis here in this country a lot in this House. We keep hearing about incentives for developers, different programs for new buyers. But, Madam Speaker, we went from 10% non-market housing in the 70s and 80s, before the Liberals pulled out of the National Housing Program, to what we are today at 3%, Madam Speaker. Europe's at 30%. In fact, Vienna is at 60%. We know that the Conservatives and Liberals' priorities are around getting developers to build housing. We're glad to see some co-op housing, glad to see some movement on that in this recent budget. But does my colleague agree that we need to rapidly scale up non-market housing, co-op housing, to solve the housing crisis for workers, for people that are homeless, and look at models that are going to make sure people have housing security and taking a new approach in how we look at housing, not as an investment, but in making sure people have safe, secure, and affordable housing?
The Honourable Member for Pierre-Boucher-les-Patries-Verchères. I'd like to thank my colleague for his interesting question. Indeed, I don't think we're doing enough when it comes to housing. I've forgotten, however, that as we just discussed this underused housing tax, the idea is that the federal government should not be implementing this tax. But ultimately, the idea is that if any money comes Quebec ways, well, it should be Quebec that decides how it's used. Otherwise, there won't be any action. So we do need new approaches, but we don't want any more federal approaches. We've had enough